right, if you're watching this video or any video on personal finance, maybe you just want one thing: to know how not to go broke. And listen, let's be frank. We all know it has been a rough couple of years, you guys. I mean, it's been really, really difficult for people. I mean, honestly, you look back since COVID and I'm like, everything's changed. Like, I feel like prices have gone up. People's jobs have changed. Like, there's been a lot of shifting. And when that happens, it can make money that much more difficult. And as inflation continued to rise and all of it, it's just been a really hard couple of years. And I think we can look back over the span, of 40, 50 years. And there's times where things are good and, people are doing great. And then there's just other times where it's hard. And I feel like we're going to look back and be like, yeah, those were a hard couple of years. So if you feel like, gosh, I am paycheck to paycheck, I feel like I kind of am broke, but I'm trying my best, you are not alone. But again, I'm glad you're watching these videos because I want you to go above that, right? I want you to get to a place where you are confident and you feel very assured that, yes, I know what I'm doing and I have a good plan, so that you're not just surviving, but you end up thriving too with your money. And so today I want to teach you how we can do this. So make sure to stick around because I'll share what to do after this so that you can build long-term wealth. But we're going to start with the basics of how not to go broke. But first, make sure to subscribe to this channel and share this episode with a friend. All right, the first thing I'm going to tell you to do, we're just going to get right to it, you guys, is I want you to budget. So downloading EveryDollar, which is our budgeting app, is incredible because doing a budget every single month is really one of your first steps of being intentional with money. Part of this idea of feeling like we're out of control with money is that we don't know where our money's going. And then the other thing that just sucks, but it's true, is like when things are just in our head, it can be magnified so quickly. And if you have any level of fear around money or scared of this, that, or this bill or that bill, and you're not organized, that just magnifies. So having things visual gives you a level of control. It is really wise when you actually look at things on paper or on your phone or on Excel, however you do it, but to see your actual numbers, because from there, you're starting from reality, not what's been made up in your head. And so EveryDollar is a great budgeting app because it's going to help you do this. And within that app, there's teaching videos. You're able to actually learn how to budget really well. And so we set this up because, again, we really believe this is the first step of getting control of your money. So downloading EveryDollar and doing a monthly budget is going to be so helpful. Number 2 would be to get your money in the positive. So a lot of people are living beyond their means and they have debt. And so when their income comes in, for some people, they're short a couple $100 or even more or less, and they're making that up with a credit card. And what happens is you end up in this cycle. And so what you want to do is, kind of stop where you are, stop digging in that hole of debt and just say, hey, we're not going to use debt anymore. So now what does that mean? If that means that you're short a couple $100 a month, then we have to make up for that. So whether that is, cutting expenses, whether that's earning some extra income, whatever you do to get in the positive is key, because your net worth is going to be in the negative. If you have a lot of debt, that's what ends up happening if you borrow on all of this. So over time, I want to get you to the positive so that you actually have momentum going forward. So before you start paying off debt, you do need a cushion to make sure that you have money when unexpected things come up, so it doesn't put you back into debt. But before I share what I mean by all of that, I do want to tell you about one of our sponsors, Delete Me. Do you want to know something that absolutely blew my mind? 1/3 of the U.S. population's background info is now public. So for 115 million of us, our info is just out there for anyone to find. And this is stuff like our names, our addresses, our phone numbers, and even more personal details that you'd be surprised by. And this is why I love and use Delete Me, because they find and remove your information from hundreds of data broker websites that buy, sell, and trade your personal data. So take control of your online privacy with Delete Me. Individual Delete Me plans start as low as $9 a month. So sign up today at joindeleteme.com/Rachel for 20% off. Get that code, you guys. It's fantastic. So click the link in the description and protect your online privacy. All right. Number 3 is to get a starter emergency fund of $1,000. So again, we are budgeting. We are stopping debts completely. We're not digging in that hole. And then the next step is to get $1,000. Now, 40% of Americans can't cover a $400 emergency in cash. So if you are one of those people and you're like, I have no money, $1,000 is going to feel like a lot. It's going to feel like this uphill battle, but I want you to do this really, really quickly. I think this is the key of starting to win with money, is you're getting these wins. So I want you to sell stuff, get an extra job. Do whatever you can to get $1,000 very, very quickly. And that's going to be your starter emergency fund. And this is enough for the short term. A lot of the things that come up to be able to cash flow are like $300, $400, $500. So this fund will help you get there if you have a flat tire, a last minute doctor's visit, like things like that come up. This will last you. It won't last you long term, but again, for the short term, that $1,000 emergency fund. Next is number 4, and that's to increase your income and cut expenses. So when you get to this point, this step may help you fund that emergency fund, but I want you to start doing this because if you are in the negative, you have to find that margin. And being able to do that is to earn extra money. And this is like a side hustle, like tutoring or car detailing, hosting at a restaurant a few nights a week, a retail gig on the weekends, refereeing sports, like whatever you can do to earn some extra income on the side is going to be so helpful. And then at the same time, cut your lifestyle. I think what happens is needs versus wants really kind of blends in our world today. Because if you have something that you've been using for like 6, 7, 8 years, you kind of bucket it as a need because it's just all you know. So I want you to go through all your expenses and say, okay, is this food? Is this shelter? Is this utilities or transportation? That's basically like what we need right now. So subscriptions, gym memberships, streaming services, eating out, like things that you do not need. Cut those out. That's going to free up some cash for you. That's going to help you get margin. And you want to live on less than you make, again, to create that margin. So when you're paying off debt, you actually have extra money at the end of the month. Instead of being in the negative, you're in the positive to throw at getting out of debt. Once you do that, we come to number 5, which is a fully funded emergency fund. So you're going to take that $1,000 emergency fund that you had. Once you're out of debt, you're going to bump that up to 3 to 6 months of expenses. And you can put this money in just a high yield savings account is great. This money is not to be invested. This money is not there to earn money or to make you wealthy. This is there as a cushion between you and life. So when your next emergency comes up, again, whether it's medical, a job loss, like anything that happens, you have this emergency fund. I was talking to some people this weekend and they said they did this and they said baby step 3 was a lifesaver because they both lost their jobs during COVID. And they were like, we had so many friends being like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how I'm going to make money to be able to pay bills and to eat. I mean, like honestly, it's kind of the scramble that ends up happening. But when you have 3 to 6 months of expenses sitting in the bank, there is a level of peace there. Yes, you're probably still figuring out how are we going to get a job. But overall, it is there to give you peace. So lean into that security. It's a great place to be. So managing money, everything we just talked about really is part 1. And then you can build wealth beyond that, which is part 2. So if you're feeling overwhelmed by investing, you are not alone. So you can actually join Dave Ramsey and George Camel for a 2-night virtual event on investing essentials March 4th and 5th. They're going to walk you through everything from setting up your 401k, picking mutual funds, even real estate investing. So make sure to click the link below to get tickets, or you can go to RamseySolutions.com/events. All right, you guys, remember to take control of your money and create a life you love. Well, hey, you guys. So do you ever feel like you're constantly just hearing what you should and shouldn't do with your money? Well, trust me, there is a lot of noises out there, a lot of messages. So that's why today I'm going to be debunking some money myths and just some straight up lies that our culture tells us when it comes to money. So I have 6 lies that I'm going to tell you about. I'm going to tell you the truth and also give you practical tips so that you can have control when it comes to your money. All right, here we go. Lie number 1, budgeting means that you can't have any fun. I hear this all the time. People are like, oh, I don't want to budget. It feels like it's, going to limit what I do with my money. It feels like you can't have any fun. You have to be cheap. But can I just tell you, a budget does not limit your freedom. A budget gives you freedom. It gives you the permission to spend money. Okay. So listen, you go out to dinner and you're like, yeah, we're having a great, date night. This is so fun. And knowing how much you're going to spend on out to eat money that month, you're able to be like, okay, how much do you want to spend tonight on this dinner? And then that kind of just helps guide you on how the night's going to be. And again, some people are like, oh my God, that's so boring. Like just YOLO, go have fun. But what it really does is it takes away second guessing. It takes away guilt spending because you have been intentional and you have a plan. So there's no more shame of like this uncertainty of, waking up the next day and being like, oh man, was that too much? I don't know. if it's in the line of the budget, then you can spend it. It's a really beautiful thing, okay? So budgeting is one of the things that, again, for everybody, I want you to do. And if you don't have EveryDollar, the budgeting app, make sure to do it, because this is an incredible tool to help you not only create your budget, but stick to your budget. So go to everydollar.com/Rachel, create your first budget, and continue to do this. And again, a budget is your income for the month minus all of your expenses, including giving and saving, should equal zero. So EveryDollar just has a name. It's just a plan for your money. And the other thing is, you guys, your budget can change throughout the month. You can be like, oh, well, we're not doing this much in this category. We're going to lower here and up here. Like, you get to decide. And that's the beautiful thing, is you have control over your money. All right, lie number 2 is that you have to have debt to survive. Okay, listen, debt is everywhere. It is normal. This is what everyone does. And the other thing is that everyone, according to statistics for the most part, is struggling financially. Like, there is this correlation. When you have debt, you have car payments and student loans, and you're chasing these credit card points and paying off the bill or not every month. And it's all these payments going out. That is your hard income, and your work, what you make from working, is going out to support all these other entities in life and not your own, okay? So there is a freedom when it comes to getting paid and that money just staying in your account. And then you get to decide where that money goes. And usually, if you're wise, you're like, okay, we're going to spend some of that, we're going to give some of that, and we're going to save and invest. And then when you get to that point of investing, then your money starts making money on its own, which is a beautiful thing. And you're doing that for yourself and your family, not for banks and not for, Toyota Motor Company over there. So it is an amazing place to be when you are debt-free, not only mathematically speaking, but also from the emotional side. When you don't owe anyone anything, it gives you more options. It's a really beautiful thing. Now, tactically, if you are in debt, you want to start paying it off. You want to get a $1,000 emergency fund first, and then start paying your smallest debt off first. Pay minimum payments on everything. Don't get behind. But start attacking that smallest debt, which means you may be taking that budget that we talked about in lie 1, cutting some things out. It may mean taking on an extra side hustle for just a period of time just to get some extra cash flow in to get it paid off as quickly as possible. All right, lie number 3, I'll finally be happy when I can buy blank. And if you have said that, I have said that. Yes, it is a human cycle that we just subconsciously believe, where you're like, oh my gosh, I need, those new jeans from Abercrombie this season. Those are so cute. That will complete my life, or, oh my gosh, if I could just have this thing over here, oh, that would make me feel better. And that's just, I want that. These subconscious thoughts that we have when it comes to stuff is unbelievable. And then the problem is when we believe that stuff is somehow going to complete us, that somehow we are not full and whole. And if I have this thing or wear that thing, live here, vacation there, suddenly I'm going to change. And that's just not the truth. You are who you are until you decide to change. And that's self-work, and that is doing stuff on the side. Has nothing to do with what you buy. And so there's a level of contentment that is so powerful. In fact, I think contentment is one of the most powerful principles out there. Godliness with contentment is great gain, is what scripture says. And that is true. You have such gain in life when you are content. There is so much more joy in life when you are content and you're not just in this rat race chasing the next thing. So it's a beautiful thing to master. It's more of a heart issue there when it comes to contentment. But I think gratitude, humility, different things really breed this level of contentment that helps you live your life in a more peaceful way. All right, lie number 4, you don't need anyone in your money business. Oh, man, we are so American sometimes in our independence of I'm doing this on my own. I'm pulling myself up by my bootstraps. Look what I did. I'm doing this. There's a beauty in independence for sure, right? I'm not discounting that. But I think we're also made and created to live life with other people. So when it comes to your money specifically, have people in your life that you talk about the subject with. It's a beautiful thing to have people that will celebrate with you, that will sit in the struggle when it's really hard and you're in a hard season. But having people in your life and not being isolated, I'm telling you, is a better way to live. Now, if you're married on a tactical sense, that person is your partner, right? There is a level of working together that is very in tune, very together when it comes to finances. But if you're single, have someone in your life that knows everything. Honestly, having somebody that you can say, hey, I want to make this big purchase. You know my numbers. Is that smart? Is that wise? And they may be like, you are second guessing yourself. Yes, go and get it. You can afford it. Or they could be like, I don't know. This and this kind of make me a little nervous. What do you think about that? Like just having somebody to talk through things with. And I've even read in a recent book that a couple had like 3 other couples where they shared everything with these other couples too. So I'm like, it can go as wide as you want on the vulnerability side of money and sharing it with people. But I just want to encourage you to have people in your life that you can talk to when it comes to money, because we are not meant to do life alone. And part of not doing your money life alone is having an expert in your corner. Having somebody that does this stuff day in and day out is so crucial. And when it comes to investing specifically, having a financial expert is really key. So if you're looking for a financial expert to help guide your financial journey, I really recommend connecting with a Ramsey Trusted Pro. I've added a link in the description so you can check that out and find one, interview a couple of them, and just see, hey, who do you click with? But having a pro in your corner is really, really key. Lie number 5 is I'll start saving after I blank. I'll start saving after this vacation. I'll start saving after Christmas. I'll start saving after the kids get back to school. Like whatever it is, it's always this, I'm going to push it off later. Or maybe it's just this YOLO mentality completely where you're like, oh, I'm good. I'm just going to live life. I'll just worry about that later down the road. Can I just tell you, like life goes fast, okay? And later down the road, in your late 30s, early 40s, late 40s, early 50s, like all of those, that time, it comes a lot faster than you expect, okay? So I want you to have fun. I want you to enjoy life. But I also want you to be wise and be thinking about the future. I promise you, the future you will always be like, dang it, I wish I started earlier. We hear that all the time. And I don't want that regret to follow you, but I do want you to be wise when it comes to saving. So when it comes to saving, the $1,000 emergency fund is baby step 1. And the baby steps, this is a guide to help you when it comes to your money and a step-by-step plan. So again, that first thing is the emergency fund. Get that $1,000 emergency fund. Then pay off debt, like we talked about earlier, and then save up a 3 to 6 month emergency fund. That is like your savings, okay? You can have that in a high yield savings account, a money market account, put that away. And then be saving really for your future when it comes to investing, and invest 15% of your income into retirement after those first 3 steps are done. And that will get you on a path. But you want to make this a rhythm. When it comes to money, you always want to be giving, you always want to be saving, and you always want to be spending and enjoying. And those will look different percentages maybe throughout your life or throughout the season that you're in. But overall, saving needs to be part of your life. All right, and lie number 6 is I don't have any money left to give. I hear this a lot. So as we just talked about, 3 things to do with money, give is one of those things. And when I talk to people, again, they go down the budget and they're like, I have no more money left to give. I don't know. And I'm like, oh, that's because you have your budget upside down. Turn around. Okay, and this feels so counterintuitive to people when I encourage people to give. But if you are on a financial journey that you create the habits, you create the mindset that it's just all about you, or I would even go and say all about just your family, like when it's just so tunnel visions, right? There is something that you're missing in life, because when that's your habit for a long time, and then maybe you start doing well with money, you start making more money, you start making more on investments or like whatever it is, and you start actually building wealth, that tunnel vision continues to stay there. It really does. And I think the further along you get, the harder it is to break that. And what you miss out on when you're not giving is you miss out incorporating other people, other areas of life into your life. And when you live with an open hand, there is a joy that comes beyond you, beyond even your immediate family. There is something there when you have the perspective that money is there to be a tool to create a life that you love. Part of that life that you love is giving because of the joy that comes with helping people. And it's not this like clogged up thing where it's so tunnel vision. I think there's a level of that when you are so focused on you for so long. There is a selfishness that occurs. It really does. And I think you can give in so many different ways, not just money, but I think money is one of the hardest. I really do. So time and money, those are hard things to give away. But I would encourage you to do it because I think it just enhances your life overall. So tactically, what I say about this is to give a little until you can give a lot. And 10% is always a great baseline to start with. That may feel like too much for you starting out, and that's fine. It may feel like too little. I don't know. But have somewhere that you start. I challenge you to do that. Start next month with your budget and say, for the first time, we're going to give something away and see what it does. So you guys, there it is. We have uncovered some truth behind some big lies that we may hear every day, again, outwardly, or maybe we feel it internally. But getting to this point where money is a tool to create a life you love is what I want for you. And I think you have the ability to make wise choices, not just following the crowd, but I want you to have peace and freedom when it comes to your money. And if you want to learn more about what might be standing in the way of your financial freedom, check out my video to learn why some people earn high salaries and are still broke. And it's more common than you think. So I hope this video, again, gives you a fresh perspective when it comes to money management, and to remember to take control of your money and create a life you love. Well, hey, you guys, one thing that the internet and personal finance have in common is a lot of mysterious lingo. You know, you get LOL, OMG, HELOC, Roth, repo, IRA. You know, all these terms, all these letters, and you're thinking, what the heck? I mean, the more progress you make with your money, it feels like the more vocabulary you have to learn. So today, I'm going to talk about one of my favorite financial abbreviations, the refi. So refi is short for refinancing. And if you are a new homeowner, or if you've never refinanced a loan before, this might be an unfamiliar concept to you, or maybe the concept of refinancing makes total sense, but you're a little confused on why you would ever need to do this, or maybe you have a lot of questions around it. So today, I'm going to walk you through all of it, because the truth is that sometimes refinancing is a great way to save money, but other times it can actually cost you money. So stick around to the end so you know the difference. But first, let's go over the basics. What exactly is a refi? So when you refinance a loan, you exchange the loan you currently have on your car, on your house, college education, for a new loan that usually you can pay off faster, or it has a better interest rate. The result is basically a redo of your agreement with the bank about when you'll have all the money paid back to them and how much extra money you'll give them along the way in interest. Interest rates fluctuate and change all the time. And when you have a lower rate, that means you give less extra money away to the bank every month till you actually pay off its total value, which is called the principal. So speaking of interest rates, let's talk about a few reasons why you might want to refinance a loan. But be sure to stay tuned, because there are reasons why you shouldn't refinance a loan, and we'll talk about that in a second. So the first thing to clarify is that ideally you should only ever refinance your home, because a mortgage is the only kind of debt that I ever recommend you taking out or thinking about. And interest rates are one of the top reasons why a lot of people refinance. So for example, a coworker of mine bought her first place in 2018 for $205,000 at a 5.5 interest rate. And by 2021, the rates had already dropped down to 2.6%. So she refinanced to lock in a lower interest rate, and she ended up reducing her monthly payment from somewhere around $1,400 to just over $900. And having that extra almost $500 a month is a huge win and a perfect reason to refinance. So then she could invest that money in retirement or start saving for a new car. I mean, the possibilities are endless, and it's great. Another common reason people refinance is to shorten the timeline of their mortgage. So I always recommend a 15-year fixed rate over a 30-year or an adjustable rate mortgage. So a 15-year fixed rate, it locks you in, you know what the rate is, and it kind of forces you in the system that you're going to pay your house off early. But a 30-year mortgage is still the most popular choice, so a lot of people end up going this route. And anytime you're able to pay off your house earlier, that's what we want you to do. With the baby steps, this is baby step 6, it's pay off your home early. And a 30-year mortgage is going to have a higher interest rate, and it takes almost double the time if you follow that formula, which means you'd be throwing away hundreds of thousands of dollars just on interest alone over the life of the loan. So again, with a 15-year fixed rate, you're gonna have a higher payment month to month, but a lower interest rate. And it puts you in a system that's gonna make you pay it off faster, which is awesome. Now let's talk about when not to refinance. But first, I want to tell you about a faith-based alternative to health insurance that can make healthcare more affordable, and that's Christian Healthcare Ministries. CHM allows members to share each other's healthcare costs, And it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1, choose the healthcare provider you want. Step 2, submit your eligible bills. And step 3, get reimbursed. CHM members take care of your eligible medical bills. And with no networks and the freedom to choose your healthcare provider, CHM is the best option for Christians who want to take care of their families and help other believers. So find out more at chministries.org/budget. So the first reason you want to avoid refinancing is if you're trying to consolidate existing debt. So listen, a lot of people are like, well, if I take my car loan and my credit cards and this personal loan and this if I do all of this and put it into a lower interest rate, that's better. But listen, what we have found with personal finance is when you have your debts separate and you list them out smallest to largest and they're in multiple debts, original debts, that's what's going to get you to pay off your debt faster. It's not this idea of math of, well, if I just had a smaller interest rate, everything would be better. Because the proven momentum of paying off your debt faster is you. And one of the best ways to do that is to pay off that smallest step first and feel that momentum. Now, the second reason not to refinance is if your closing costs add up to more than what you'll save in interest. So it takes some time to do a little bit of calculating and find out if you'll break even. So refinancing includes closing costs that are about 2 to 6% of the loan amount. And those costs cover everything from your refinancing application, home appraisal, title search, home inspections fee, lender's attorney's fee, origination fee, points fee, all of it. But if the total outweighs what you'll save on interest in the long run, then you may want to wait until interest rates get even lower before you do that. I'll link my go-to mortgage payoff calculator for you to test out some of the numbers on your own. Now, the third reason to hold off on refinancing is if there's a chance that you're going to move in the near future. So if you have plans to sell your place or relocate or upgrade or downsize, you may want to hold off on refinancing now, again, because you're going to pay so much up front with the closing cost that you may not get back in interest over the course of the loan if you end up switching houses. So be thinking about that as well. Like many things in the world of personal finance, refinancing, it can be a great tool if it's used the right way. So just make sure you crunch the numbers and weigh the pros and cons of this. And if you're in need of a little pro help to think through your options, my friends over at Churchill Mortgage, they're an amazing resource. So make sure to check them out in the link below. Again, this can be a very complicated thing, so reach out to a professional. And if you didn't already know, my husband, Winston, he's in the real estate world, and I had him on the show, The Ramsey Show, a couple of years ago to talk about some things like refinancing. So you should check that out as well. And remember, you guys, to take control of your money and create a life you love. Some of the messiest and most stressful situations I've ever witnessed have come from mixing relationships and money. And you guys, it's a very complicated subject, but just to prove how crucial it is to have financial boundaries in your life, I'm going to share 3 co-signing nightmares that will make you stop in your tracks and rethink your whole life. So make sure to like, subscribe, and share this episode with a friend. All right, when it comes to co-signing, in order to have a co-signer, it means that you have bad credit, which means you did not handle the debt that you have now well. So you don't have a good number. So the bank is like, we're not going to give you money unless we can have someone that's responsible. And then the responsible people are like, oh my gosh, sweet Bill needs a new car, and he can't get one. He has no money and he has to get a loan, but he can't get a loan. So I'm going to be on the loan with him because he will pay it. Yes, he will. And then he doesn't. And then you're just like, wait, what? And then you're stuck with it. So co-signing is one of the worst. So here are some Ramsey Show moments, you guys, where it proves it out. All right. So first up, we have Rebecca, and her ex-boyfriend bought $1 million ranch in cash, but put her name also on the deed of the ranch. And they weren't married yet. So this is not necessarily a co-signing situation, but they're already mingling finances and they're not married. So I was on this episode. I remember this well. Here's the clip.
Earlier this year, a boyfriend at the time of 2 years was ready to take the next step, and he wanted to move to my state, and he ended up purchasing a ranch, which is kind of like my dream property, for about $1 million, paid cash, put me on the deed. And prior to that, I said, I don't feel comfortable doing this unless we are married. At that point, he was like, nope, we're going to get married. A venue was booked, a ring was purchased, and we moved forward. he moves in for about 3 weeks and then tries to almost trick me into signing the deed of the house into a trust while he's like planning his exit. And he left. So, which
Oh my gosh.
whole other set of
Wait a minute.
emotional issues.
He paid cash
He did.
of
over
$1 million
$1
for a
over
property.
Yep.
And put your name on the deed,
Yes, sir.
and then he took off.
Yes, sir.
Wild. So I don't understand how he profits from this. It almost sounds like he was trying to scam. Is he just flighty or what?
I think he has some. I think he wants he liked the idea of this.
Oh.
And I
It
think
broke your heart
he
in the
got here,
process. Wow.
broke my heart. I'm left to manage the whole 20 acres on my own and 6 animals.
It's not your house.
It's not my house.
Well, it's his $1 million, right?
Yeah, but I'm on the deed, so technically I am 50% owner. And my home, I rented it out, and I have tenants in there through the end of May.
So your point is you've been damaged by this fraud, and so financially, and so it would be ethical to receive something for that.
I don't know.
I think that's right. I think you know it cost you a good job, and
my home that I had.
Well, no, you own the home still.
Right.
You'll get it back in May, and and you will have rented it. You will have made money on it during that time. So I don't mind tagging him for $100,000 or something. I just don't. I don't know how you've been harmed much more than $100,000 unless you want to just be punitive, which honestly is probably okay. This guy kind of deserves it, but I'm kind of with you. I mean, I'm vacillating while I'm talking to you. You hear me? So I'm not sure. This is weird, and as you know, and you're not the weird one. So, yeah. Okay, I want to be made whole financially plus a little if I'm you. Past that, this is dirty money for me.
Right.
I don't want to live on this farm, this ranch.
Right.
That's got bad juju all over it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If I'm you, I'm just
Yeah,
I'm trying to put myself in your shoes.
Yeah, get me out of there.
Yeah. I don't want to. I don't want to walk away with.
And legally, you're entitled to $500,000 legally, right? If her name's on the deed.
Yeah. Nothing this twerp can do about it. He stepped in it.
But the question is, what do you feel right about? Right, from just like a moral perspective.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's being made whole plus a little bit more of what you're saying.
I would try. Do you have an ability to contact him?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would have your attorney contact him and say, I will sign a deed to you for $200,000 or whatever the number is. Okay. And then I would go get an apartment and sell off the animals and get out of this, get away from this whole thing.
Mm-hmm. And then go back to your house in May when the tenants move out.
I would just get away from the whole thing.
Okay, I do love that Dave was like, you get like a love tax, basically, of like, yeah, you get a little something if he sells the ranch, right? But yeah, you guys, you don't want to commingle finances when you're not married. And again, she was on the better end of the situation. Usually I feel like it's the guy calling, right? That's like, hey, I have this paid off ranch and my ex-girlfriend is on it. What do I do? Right? So always remember to keep it separate. Okay. Number 2, this one's interesting. Co-signing a loan for his church is what this guy was asking about. Okay, so let's watch this one together.
So I like my church. It's a good church. And there's building expansion. They've asked the senior members to co-sign on a loan for the expansion. And I listened to you and kind of a flag went up. What do you think about that?
Well, I'm kind of weird. I think churches ought to follow what the Bible says. And 17:18 Proverbs says, one lacking in sense co-signs for another.
Yeah, it's a $2.3 million. The church.
No. Stop. It ends right there. The Bible says, one lacking in sense co-signs for another. That includes a church, especially a church ought to be following the Bible. No way I'm doing this.
Okay. All righty.
No way.
Thanks.
It's bad. It's a bad idea.
But yeah, that's a wild one. Like mix in some spirituality dysfunction in the midst of that. No, thank you. No, thank you. All right, next, Nick is in trouble after co-signing a loan for a friend. But before we dive into his story, I do want to tell you about one of our sponsors, Fairwinds Credit Union. When you are working the baby steps, your bank shouldn't be working against you. And that is why I love Fairwinds Credit Union. Their smart checking and savings bundle was literally designed to line up with the baby steps. So if you're ready to move your money somewhere that supports your financial goals, Fairwinds is what you've been looking for. Just head to fairwinds.org/Ramsey to open your smart checking and savings bundle today. And another company that's doing amazing work on your behalf is Delete Me. You guys, data brokers have gotten more creative and are actively becoming more of a threat. And they're out there on the internet collecting your data and selling it to data brokers and putting you at risk for scams and fraud. And this is why I love and use Delete Me, because Delete Me goes in and removes your data to help protect you from phishing, harassment, and other online threats. Your family's safety and financial security are way too important to leave exposed. So go to joindeleteme.com/Rachel for 20% off, bringing your monthly cost to under $9, or just click the link in the description. All right, our third and final clip, is a co-sign situation with a friend. So here it is.
I co-signed on a loan for my friend 7 years ago now. And with a verbal agreement that in a few years he's going to refinance and get me off. COVID hit, and he had a COVID assist program where they stopped paying on the loan, but obviously the interest rates were continuing to add up.
Yikes.
And then life happened, so he had surgery, so he went through a couple of rough times. Unfortunately, the good thing is he's still paying on the loan. The only bad thing was the original loan was for $367, and now because of the COVID program, it went up to $376. So after I just got married with my wife, and we want to start our life and buy our first home, and I reached out to him in regards to options of getting off the loan. Excuse me. And we tried to do a loan assumption, but his debt ratio was not where it needed to be because of, the surgeries and everything. So, and then I approached him in regards to, hey, let's refinance, even though it's going to be at a higher rate. It's going to be on you only. It's not on me anymore. I did my part as a friend of helping you get this house, but the agreement was, no, obviously he said no because of the rates not being low enough. And so my question for you would be, obviously we've been going back and forth with him about it. And I want to know what should be my next step.
The relationship can't be too good after all this, is it?
So the relationship has definitely suffered, and
we're about to go to a hard break, Nick. But this is the hard thing about co-signing, Nick, is there aren't other options. I'm like, there's, from a legal perspective, you signed a loan, and until your name is off of that loan, there's really not like a legal way to go about this or anything. It kind of is what it is, and so
you could try to see what a judge would say about it. To try to force a refi, but I don't know that they could do that.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
This is why we say not to do this.
So this is a classic example, you guys, of when you attach yourself to someone else's financial picture, especially when it comes to debt and co-signing. You're opening yourself up to be like, hey, my future is reliant upon this person that wasn't good with debt in the first place and needed a co-signer to do what they said they're going to do. And not everyone that gets a co-sign loan, is bad. And I think most people, I want to believe, have the wherewithal to realize, okay, I'm going to try to pay this back. Like, I think their intent is good, but life happens. It's just like exactly what that call is. So please, for the love of God, please don't be a co-signer. Now, if you have never watched or listened to The Ramsey Show, it is full of real stories and financial questions just like these. And you can learn so much more on what to do and what not to do with your money just by listening in. And remember, financial boundaries, they can be tough to put in place, but they are an absolute must. So make sure to check out my episode, 3 Healthy Money Boundaries to Set with Family. You can go right here, click that. When it comes to relationships and money, this is really important. And if you're listening on podcast, I'll leave a link below. All right, you guys, remember to take control of your money and create a life you love. So one question a lot of couples and families are wrestling with is it better to have 2 incomes and pay for childcare or have one parent stay home? So if you are considering this in your home, here are 5 questions that can help you make that decision. And stay tuned, because at the end, I'll be sharing my biggest working parent lesson that I have learned in 10 years of being a mom. So make sure to like, subscribe, and share this episode with a friend. All right, first, before I share the 5 questions, there's kind of this invisible step that's really crucial, and that is to know your why. Why are you wanting to stay home? Why are you wanting to go back to work? Why are you thinking about going part-time? Like, understanding what is going on inside of you and your motivations for the answers to those questions are really important. So there is a level of kind of self-reflection I want you to have that I think is really key in this overarching concept, right? Because if your answer is, oh God, I feel like I should go back to work because if not, like, we're gonna have to limit our lifestyle and I don't want to limit my lifestyle and that makes me nervous and there's a lot of fear there. Okay, well, let's tap into that, like start digging through the layers of why. Or maybe I feel like I need to go home because that's what a good mom does and that's what society's telling me, in my part of the country, that's what I should be doing. Well, dig more into that, right? So understanding the answer to that question is going to kind of help you flesh out and get to a healthier perspective. That's really important to have. All right, the first question is, it's kind of hypothetical, but which budget makes the most sense? So what I want you to do is I want you to create a couple of mock budgets for your household. So first, I would say total your income if you're both working, okay? You're both going to work after maternity leave, and then list out all of your expenses, which will include childcare, and see how that feels. Is it like, oh gosh, I'm gonna be paying for more gas because the childcare place that I want is like across town. How much is childcare? Like, oh my gosh, like list all that out and kind of just see, okay, how does that feel? And then do another budget and say, okay, what if I don't work? What if I do stay home full time after kids? And there's one income, no childcare expenses, but how does that feel? If I eliminated one entire income, like, is that possible? Could we still live on that? Even, maybe we have to make tweaks to make it work, but those tweaks are worth it because it's what we want to do. That's great. And then make a third one that, like, if you work part-time, there's so many jobs right now that even working from home, 20 hours a week you can do. So make a third and just kind of get a glimpse of what the reality is, because I think emotions can drive stuff so quickly when it comes to these decisions, especially when we're talking about our kids. And if you're a first-time mom, especially that you have the baby, like, it's a lot. It is a lot. And so getting some facts and some numbers is going to help you see the reality, because you may look and be like, okay, this makes no sense. Like, maybe literally one income is going to pay for childcare because childcare is so expensive. And that's not worth it. Or maybe you say, there's no way we can live where we live with the friends and the family, the community where we live with just one income. And we're not willing to budge that because that part of our life is high value to us. So we are going to have 2 incomes, right? So you may actually start to see an answer come in one of those 3 budgets. All right, number 2 is, can you cut non-essential expenses and earn partial income from home? So when we're looking at the budgets and you're saying, okay, if there is one that you say, we're going to have one income and we're going to have to cut some expenses. So look at that and be realistic about it, because if your desire is to be home, you want to figure out a way to do that. And for some people, that desire is so strong that they are willing to move. They're willing to do other things, make really big decisions for that value system of their family, which is great. But there probably will have to be some things that are cut, because for most people, if you're used to living on 2 incomes, you have built a life and a lifestyle around those 2 incomes, which is great. But if one of those gets taken away, you have to decide, okay, can we live on this? And then you can even say, hey, if I do something, a side hustle or something part-time to provide a cushion, does that allow me to still get at what I want, to be able to be home more, maybe with 1 or 2 days of childcare versus 5 days, and we can still do it with our expenses. But be looking to see, okay, from an income side and an expense side, where can we up, lower these things to make the numbers work? Number 3 is, would staying home or going back to work affect quality of life and mental health? So here's what I love about us as people. We are all so uniquely wired. We really are. So I have friends in my life that I'm like, I talk to, and they are 100% like, I have to be home. If I go to work and I drop my baby off, I am more stressed doing that than cutting expenses and living on one income. Like, I want to be home. And that is like full blood who they are. They love it. It's what they want. It's what they desire, which is beautiful and great. So do it. Or I have other friends and they're like, if I don't go back to work, I'm going to be crazy. And people would say, again, I feel like some of this is controversial, either way you look at it. But some of my friends are like, I'm a better mom because I have a break. Like there's some of that space, and I actually can be way more present and way more involved, because I think I may go into depression if I am home all day, right? So who you are, you need to know that about yourself. So as you're making this decision, make sure you know yourself well enough, and to know like things can change if they need to, but that peace of mind for you to be a healthy individual is so important. And obviously we're looking out for the good of our kids and the family unit for sure. So you need to factor in all of these things, right? You've chosen to get married, have babies, like all of it. So like there's so many factors at play, but for you and yourself, like take a moment and just say, okay, what is my gut reaction on how I'm wired, how I'm created? All right, before I share more questions to ask and my number one tip after 10 years of parenting, I do want to tell you about our sponsor, Delete Me. If you don't remove your personal data from the internet, it's basically like it's on a billboard, because your name, your address, your email, even your kids' names are out there on sketchy data broker websites. And those data brokers then sell your data, and it puts you at risk for scams and fraud. But the good news is that Delete Me removes your data to help protect you from phishing, harassment, and other online threats. Winston and I use Delete Me, and it has saved us so much time and worry. You guys, you and your family's safety and financial security are way too important to leave exposed. So sign up for Delete Me and take control. Go to joindeleteme.com/Rachel for 20% off, bringing your monthly cost to under $9, or just click the link in the description. All right, number 4, a good question to ask yourself is, are you debt-free? Now, this is not something that I would say if you're not debt-free, then you can't stay at home. You have to go back to work. No. When it comes to kids and marriage and all the things, like regardless of where you are financially, do what is best for you, because you can figure it out beyond that. You really can. But I will say too, there is something realistic about if you don't have payments, and if you didn't have 2 $600 car payments, and you didn't have an $11,000 credit card bill, and you didn't have, a few $100s going out to student loan debt every month, like if you had cut all those down, all that money, and put it back in your budget, there may be a better chance that mathematically you could stay at home, because that could be literally $1,000, $2,000 going out in payments every month that could be back to you if you were debt free. So we do talk to a lot of couples that are like, hey, I am going to work, and the goal is in 2.5 years, we're debt free. And then that's one of their goals is, once I become debt free, I'm going to go and stay at home, because mathematically we're able to, but also the stress of carrying around debt isn't there anymore. And there is so much freedom to make decisions. So again, I'm not saying that if you're not debt free, you can't stay home. Okay. Yes, your debt free journey may be a little bit longer on one income, and that's okay. But just knowing, again, that if you don't have payments, that's money back, which may give you more margin and more breathing room. Number 5, do you have a 3 to 6 month emergency fund saved? Because again, we are looking for peace here. And if you don't have debt and you have some money in the bank, just in case something happens, that gives you way more peace of mind. Because the hard thing is, and I've talked to people like this, that, they go and they stay home full time, but financially it's kind of a disaster. And they have tons of debt. They have no savings. And the whole thing just ends up being more stressful. And they're like, I can't do anything. Like, I want to go to the zoo, or like, I want to do things with my kids, but we have no money. I can't do anything. And they're like, oh, I wish we were in a better place financially. So maybe it is one of those moments that you're like, yeah, maybe I work for a season until we get to a good place, and then I can come home and have more peace. But I always say that, like, getting control of your money and creating a life around your money is all about peace. Like, what is going to give you the most peace? Because that is so crucial. All right. One of the biggest lessons, though, I've learned as a working mom is that seasons change. Okay. Kids grow up, they start school, they move out. Your job is going to change. Your spouse's job is probably going to change. Your friendships are going to change. Community evolves. Your extended family dynamics are going to change. Like, nothing in life is permanent. So if you're making a decision during the season of life, just let me remind you, you can make a different decision later. Like what you're doing is not set in stone. It's not. And so there may be a season that, again, challenging, but you're like, this is where I feel like I need to be. That's great. Then go be there, whether it's at work or at home. Then you could look up 6 months later, 9 months later, 2 years later, and you're like, all right, things are changing. I kind of think I'm going to shift this way, right? Like you have that ability. It's wild. I dropped Charles off at his last day of preschool. This was about 2 months ago because he's starting kindergarten in the fall. And I like boohooed, y'all. I got so emotional. I was not expecting it. I'm not really a crier. And I like was hugging the director. I mean, everyone. I was just like, oh my God, this is the last drop off of it. Because what hit me, I told Winston, I was like, I kind of felt out of control because everything in our lives, we have decisions over. Like you get to decide and choose like the job that you have, the house you live in, the church you go to. Like we get, as adults, we get to make decisions in our life. But time is the only that forces us to make decisions, right? It's pretty wild. Like, it's like, I don't have a decision in this. Like, it's happening. Life is going. And it's kind of this bizarre thing. So just remember, like, time is going to keep moving forward. And because of that, it may force some certain decisions in your life, but it also gives you the ability to know you can make other decisions. So just know you have a lot of control over your life. You're able to make decisions on what creates the most peace for you. And I implore you to do it. And if the decision is wrong and it doesn't create peace and you want to make a different decision, you can. Now, if you desperately need some ideas of maybe how to earn extra income, because maybe you do want to stay home, check out 7 creative side hustles for an extra $1,000 a month. You can click there to watch, or if you're listening on podcast, click the link below. All right, you guys, remember to take control of your money and create a life you love. Well, hey, you guys. So there are definitely some things that I love to splurge on. I love a good hotel. I love a good high-quality handbag. But at the end of the day, I prefer to ball on a budget when it comes to everyday items that I shop for. And there are some things that I will always say no to. So today I'm sharing popular products that, in my opinion, are a complete waste of money. And be sure to stick around to the end because the last item on my list is a financial product trap that everyone needs to avoid. So first, let's just start off with a little bit of humor because the whole reason this topic has been on my mind lately is because we had a slightly traumatic experience at this dinosaur exhibit that was a complete ripoff. So on Instagram, I kept seeing this ad for this dinosaur thing coming to Nashville. And Charles, my 4-year-old, loves dinosaurs, like loves them. Dinosaur underwear, dinosaur shirts, dinosaurs. And so I was like, this would be such a good thing. Like, I don't normally do this. I'm not like buying tickets out to stuff all the time, but like this would be a fun family thing to do on a Saturday where we didn't have anything, which rarely happens either. We go. It was the most terrible experience I've had in a really long time. We were totally ripped off, y'all. I mean, like, just know there was a grown man dressed up as a dinosaur, and the dinosaur's name was Diego, and he came, and Diego spun around. Diego sat, and Diego stood back up. That was part of the exhibit, was that. It was so bad, y'all. And it was rainy and muddy. It was outside, and like they had bounce houses that I bought extra tickets for, and the bounce houses were like puddles of mud and kids and sweat. Like, it was just gross. It was just bad. It was bad. The whole thing. And the worst part of it all is we're driving home, and Winston was like, well, that was an adventure. But at least, you know, it was probably only like $10 a person or something, right, Rachel? No. We spent $156 to take our family to this. So anyways, it was just one of those moments where I thought, okay, I'm going to learn. And the bright side of all of this is that, you know, we have a good memory. We still laugh about it because, again, trapped in this fairground tents with bounce houses in Diego was not a great Saturday. Okay, let's dive into the actual list, though, of really things that are not worth the money. And the first thing that I thought about was expensive athleisure wear. So $100 for a pair of leggings in this economy? No. Now listen, I love Lululemon. I love all the nice things. It's great. But y'all, the same stretchy fabric technology now is like in so many places. I have ones from Amazon, some from Old Navy, and they are a fraction of the price, and they're fantastic. So that's one thing that I will go Target, Old Navy, Amazon for all that stuff. Again, if you want to splurge on a couple of items from like the nicer places, I'm sure they're wonderful and nice. I have some But overall, if I just need some running shorts, I'm probably going to go to Target for that. All right, the next popular item that I think is a waste of money is for my friends with hoarding tendencies. I love you guys. But renting out storage units or investing in collectibles is not always the wisest way to spend your money. So listen, if you have to have multiple storage units for all your crap, we probably could do some purging, don't you think? We could probably say, hey, here's some, that's just trash we could throw out. Here's some things we could sell. Like, we may just have too much stuff. And the fact that, for some people, they're paying a monthly rent on a place to keep all of this. Now, I get it. If you went from like a house to an apartment, you're downsizing. Like, if there's a transitional period during time, I get it. Absolutely. But overall, just think of all the crap you have and just ask yourself, would I be sad if this was gone? Because the truth is, you're probably not. Probably not. Now, again, there are a few exceptions here, but let's just think about how we can save money on rent when it comes to a storage unit. All right, number 3 for me is expensive kids' clothes. So if you are a parent, you know how much time it feels like it takes to keep up. My kids, they grow so fast. Like, we go through 2 sizes of shoes, usually throughout the school year, from one summer to the next. I mean, there were just this and all of it. There's just so much. And so I will look for sales for my kids when it comes to nicer stores. But honestly, I just get stuff from Old Navy and Target. Like, that is it. When they were like little, I would go to consignment sales because a bunch of bougie moms in like the rich part of town would have like pretty smock dresses and like all these like really, really nice outfits that I would get at a fraction of the cost, which was amazing. But y'all, I'm like, the kids, let's just be honest. They're going to grow out of them. And they're a mess. Like, they go to school, all of it. So I will buy inexpensive clothes all day for my kids. The 4th product that I think is a waste of money is any and all food at the movie theater. So we are a pre-movie Walgreens family. So if we go to the movies, we usually go to Walgreens and get the candy boxes there. It's half the cost. And I remember even when I was a kid, my mom would get a bag. She bought a bag of popcorn, y'all, at the movie theater. And it was like, you could get refills for free. She would like fold that bag and put it in her purse. And like next time we went, she'd like shake it out and go get more popcorn. So we found ways to scoot around the system. I'm not saying that's a good thing, but it happened. And one time we took all of our kids to the movies and I was like, let's just go big and let's just do it. Like, we'll buy, the food here. And y'all, it was so much. It was so expensive. So listen, putting some stuff in the old purse, like, just do it. Just do it. Save some money that way. Now, the next item on the list can easily run people about $5,000. But before I tell you more about that, I want to tell you about a faith-based alternative to health insurance that can make healthcare more affordable. And that's Christian Healthcare Ministries. So CHM allows members to share each other's healthcare costs. And it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1, choose the healthcare provider you want. Step 2, submit your eligible bills. And Step 3, get reimbursed. CHM members that take care of your eligible medical bills. And with no networks and the freedom to choose your healthcare provider, CHM is the best option for Christians who want to take care of their families and help other believers. So find out more at chministries.org/budget. All right, popular product number 5 that I think is a waste of money. A Dyson. Yep. And I know you guys, I'm going to get some heat for this, but listen, I'm convinced that a vacuum cleaner is a vacuum cleaner. A hair dryer is a hair dryer. And just like the legging technology has caught up with us, there are tons of dupes out there for viral hair appliances like the Dyson hair wrap. And again, I listened to this podcast with this hairstylist and she was like, no. And she named up like 3 or 4 other hair dryers too that were better than the Dyson and cost half of the money. So I think there's some other alternatives out there, so don't feel like you have to fall into that trend. All right, the 6th product that I think is a waste of money is airport and airplane food. I know. So listen, we're talking $10 bottled waters. Remember the magazines that you used to buy magazines? They were like $7 per magazine, all of it. And then you got to pay for the air Wi-Fi service, the overpriced cocktails on the plane, like all of it. And it is so easy for your money to slip through your fingertips when you're traveling. So before you travel, just think, hey, throw in some snacks, throw in an empty water bottle, because a lot of now airports, you can fill up your bottle at different water filling stations. And again, if you want to like have, a cocktail on the plane or something here or there, that's great. But just know like all of this is going to cost so much, and that's money you could have spent at your destination, like having a great night out. So just remember that. Now, the 7th item that ends up being a waste of money is twofold. Popular jean styles and trendy jewelry pieces. They're always changing, you guys. Always changing. And I do want to invest in new cuts and colors every season, and I just do it. And when I buy that stuff, it's usually Amazon, Old Navy, Target, Abercrombie, all the things. Because again, even jeans, you think about jeans and how much they have changed over the last 4 years. And if you want to kind of just be on trends a little bit, you're probably going to cycle through some styles and all of it. So go on the cheap end. Don't buy the really expensive stuff. And finally, the one financial product that I never recommend is something that is supposed to help you out when you're in need, but it absolutely does not. And that is whole life insurance. So whole life insurance, you guys, it is, I think, one of the worst financial products on the market because you're getting insurance for your whole life, but it also has a investment attached to it so that you get a crappy rate of return. And through some of the accounts, they keep the money when you die. It's all this stuff. No. So I recommend getting term life insurance, have your investing in something completely different. And if the end of the life stuff isn't on your radar yet, I hate to be the bearer of news, but you are going to die. So you need to be thinking about this stuff, you guys. And I know it's not fun to think about, but think through this. And especially if you have someone that is dependent upon your income, make sure you have life insurance. Now, I love Xander Insurance, and you can get a free quote in just a few minutes. And you go to RamseySolutions.com/term life and check that out. Now, while we're at it, if you haven't checked out my episode about 6 types of insurances that you need and some that you don't, make sure to do that today as well. And remember to take control of your money and create a life you love. Well, hey, you guys. So listen, I'm typically the one that is trying to get you to save money, right? And we all have to buy things in life. And so usually I'm like, oh, here's a great dupe on Amazon so you can save some money. But the truth is sometimes getting a better quality item is going to help you out in the long run. Now, if you choose to buy something cheap and it's on the wrong item, you end up actually spending more money because you're going to have to repair it or replace it. So today I came up with a list of items that you'll regret buying cheap. And these are all products that I have splurged on, again, to get better quality, and I don't regret it. And stick around because later I'll share one high quality product that I use every day, and it's actually free. And make sure you guys to subscribe to this channel so you never miss an episode in the future. All right, first and foremost, I'm going to go with the Stanley Cup. Yeah, listen, I know, it is a fad. It's kind of died down a little bit, and George Camel and I were talking about this on Smart Money Happy Hour because he thinks it's just crazy. But here's the truth, for real. These Stanleys, they have quality unlike most water bottles out there because when you actually fill it up and you have ice in it, it will last. I mean, for me, you guys, it can last up to 24, 48 hours. It's crazy, the quality of it versus we bought some other ones for our kids for school and it melts like that. So I don't know. I am pro Stanley. I really am. It fits in your cup holder. It has a handle and it actually keeps everything cold and chilled. So that's one thing that I bought and I'm proud of it. I'm great with it. All right, another one. This might sound silly, but it is true, is good tweezers. Okay, you can buy really cheap ones for $2. But if you buy really nice ones, okay, they're amazing. They really are. I have cheap ones and I have really nice ones. And I've learned in my life, I'm going to buy nice tweezers. Because even with my kids, if they have even a splinter, even small things that you use tweezers for, it is par none. They are so much better than the big, thicker ones that they don't work. They don't work as well. So buy nice tweezers. All right, next, my mother will be so proud that I'm saying this, but good skincare and clean sunscreen. So the things that we put on our skin, I think is very important. And I'm not crazy about this. I'm not checking every single ingredient on every single thing, okay? But I do know if you have good quality skincare and good quality sunscreen, it is better for you in the long run. And again, it is an investment. You can get the cheap stuff. And when you buy the more expensive, even I'm it kind of hurts. It's not fun. But I know that it's so much better. It is. And so again, skincare, sunscreen, go better with quality. Brands that I personally love, I love Supergoop. That's the one that I use on my face. Blue Lizard I use for my kids. Even Kula we'll use as well. So again, just finding more of those clean sunscreens, so key. And for my face, my moisturizer that I use is called Corrective Control, and I love it. All right, another one is suitcases and travel gear. So some suitcases, depending on, what you're buying, they can be overpriced, and there can be things that are like things that you just don't need and you end up spending way more on it. But a good quality suitcase is so, so worth it. And again, it doesn't have to cost you a ton, but I have a cheaper one, like a rolling suitcase, and then we have two like kind of nicer ones. And again, when I say nice, it's more that like mid-grade level. It's not crazy expensive, but it's not the cheapest thing that you can get. And the wheels on it, like over time, like it is getting banged around. I mean, it is being thrown around basically when we travel. And the wheels on the cheap one, they're not working anymore. And I've had that one for maybe 5 years, and the other ones I've had for longer, and they have held up. So get a good suitcase. Again, you don't have to get the top of the line, but go ahead and spend some extra money and don't get the cheap one. Go for some nice ones. All right, next is car maintenance. So anything around cars, whether it's tires, car washes, windshield wipers, like these kind of things is worth a little bit more of the splurge, and go ahead and get better quality of these things, because in the long run, you're not going to have to replace them as often. And so I do find with, especially tires specifically, like getting good tires, we will pay for them because I'm like, yep. Now, if you're in a season where you're like, hey, I'm not going to be able to do that, totally understandable, because this is more of a price point, a higher price point item. But I think that's good. And then even things like windshield wipers, like go ahead and buy the nicer version of them because they actually work. It drives me nuts when I'm driving and I have cheap ones, because I used to, and it just like does nothing. And I'm like, oh my God, Rachel, spend a little bit more money and get some nice windshield wipers. All right, next, think about bathroom appliances. Okay, so think about like a good hair dryer. Ugh, it is so worth it, ladies. Get a good hair dryer. I've had mine, I think it's going on 8 years now, and it's powerful, it's quiet, and it's efficient. And I'm like, all day, I will spend money to get my hair dried faster and more effectively. Because even when I travel to hotels, you get the cheaper ones and it's like loud and it just does not, I'm like, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work as well. So invest in a good hair dryer. And then for me, I have an electric toothbrush that I've had since I've been married. We literally bought it like with Bed Bath & Beyond gift cards that we got for our wedding 15 years ago. And it's amazing. And I'm trying to remember, I think it's like Oral-B or whatever. Now, of course, I change out the little head of the toothbrush. I've changed that in 15 years, don't worry. But the fact that the thing is still fully running and charging and working, it's awesome. So again, go ahead and like get the name brand, because the quality of those things, it's going to help with your life overall. Okay, another one to think about is childcare. So you don't want to skimp on childcare, even though this is a whole discussion and we could have a whole episode around this because it is a massive expense, very expensive. But as a mom, the last thing you want to do is be nervous about the environment you're dropping your kids off at, right? So looking and vetting, and again, you may be paying more, which gets into the whole conversation about how expensive it is. I get it. But for me, good quality childcare has been really, really important. All right, another essential part of our lives is healthcare, not just childcare, but healthcare. So I want to tell you about one of our sponsors, Christian Healthcare Ministries. When you go against what society thinks is just, quote, normal, like avoiding debt, for example, it may seem weird at first, and that is totally okay, because we want you to be weird if that means that you're doing things intentionally, including how you spend your healthcare dollars. And one way to be intentional is with Christian Healthcare Ministries. CHM isn't health insurance. They're a health cost-sharing ministry that's helped hundreds of thousands of families like yours take care of healthcare costs without sacrificing their freedom. Programs start as low as $98 a month. So find out more and join at chministries.org/budget. That's chministries.org/budget. All right, another thing that I do not skimp on. Be ready for this. Paper towels. Give me Bounty all day. A good paper towel is worth it. I've gone cheaper before, and I'm telling you, it just doesn't work as well. And you end up using more paper towels. You really do. But a nice paper towel all day. And I know it's a waste of money, Rachel. You should use dish rags and all that. I get it. I hear ya. But a good paper towel is worth it. And then kind of on that same note as well, garbage bags. get good quality, durable garbage bags because we've gone cheap on this. And like one little hole, just the whole thing just rips open and it's a disaster. So good trash bags, that's the way to go. All right, last but not least, good tennis shoes. Okay. All day, you guys. I am big on this, especially if you are a runner, which is not me, but I am a walker these days. I'm getting my steps in and having good tennis shoes. And if you're working out or just around, like invest in a good pair of tennis shoes, whether it's On Cloud or Adidas or whatever, like have one good pair of tennis shoes that you have in life. Because for me, like, we don't need blisters. We don't need like bad support on our arches. I sound like a 40-year-old, but that's basically what I am now. So good shoes, good tennis shoes, definitely worth the quality. Okay, one thing that feels like a high quality splurge, but is actually free is EveryDollar. So EveryDollar is the best budgeting app, and you can download it for free and actually create your budget. But if you wanted to, spice it up a little bit, you can do the premium version where it connects to your bank account and has so many more features on that end of it. But again, there is a free version, and do this, you guys. Be budgeting so that way when you buy the things like we just talked about on this list, you can budget for it and you can enjoy your money because a budget is permission to spend. So click the link in the description or in the show notes to get started because it just takes a few minutes. And remember, you guys, all of this is about balance. Like, there are going to be things in life that we will find dupes for, and we will love them to the day we die. And then there are going to be some things that you spend a little bit more money on to get the quality, which is really important too. So, again, there are purchases out there. Again, the ones that I just talked about that I just listed, you can check them out. But for me personally, those are the things that is worth spending that money on. Now, if you want 9 more purchases that I fully stand behind, make sure to check out my episode on 9 one-time purchases that could save you hundreds. And you can check that out next. Or if you're listening on podcast, make sure to click the link below. All right, you guys, share this episode with a friend who you know values quality over quantity. And remember to take control of your money and create a life you love. So most of us have done some out-of-the-box things when it comes to save money, but I recently came across a list of some extra unconventional ways to save money on everyday costs. So today I thought I'd share some of those with you. Maybe they inspire you, or maybe they just give you a good laugh. But I'm also going to share my personal favorite tip when it comes to managing money long-term. But before we get started, make sure to subscribe to the channel and send this episode to a friend who might love it. All right, number 1 on the list was to rent a storage cube as an office. Real estate can be a little pricey, but with a storage cube, you can actually get climate-controlled storage units for around $75 to $225 per month. And office spaces run anywhere from $1,500 to $3,500, depending on size and location. So, clever way, save some money, get a space for cheap, do your business there. Now, there's no windows and, no people walking around, so maybe it is less distracting and you're able to just get what you need done in the storage facility. So, this isn't a bad thought. If this is what you need to do, not terrible. Be a little lonely, a little sad, a little depressing, but hey, you save some money. Number 2 is a wild one. I'm saying this more and more, but it is living on a cruise ship, you guys. So a few months ago on Smart Money Happy Hour, George Campbell and I talked about a retired couple who decided to live on a cruise for a year because they would actually end up saving more on food and rent. And so they went on a Royal Caribbean's 274-night Ultimate World Cruise, and it ranges anywhere from $54,000 to $83,000. And an average assisted living facility starts around $54,000 a person. So they're like, well, instead of doing that, we could just go live on a cruise. So, sure, right? At that point in life, if that's what you want to do, go for it. Long term, I think finding a place and, buying eventually is the smartest way because your housing cost, that line item in your budget is the one thing that will always go up if you continue to rent. So locking in a house and paying it off long term is a great financial decision. But, to save some money instead of living in the real world, just go live on a cruise. Why not? Number 3 is tiny houses and powered by solar panels. So one person on BuzzFeed says, technically, I'm off the grid because I use well water and I don't have an electricity bill and I parked on my parents' property. So there it is. there you go. I mean, again, some of these are great. So kind of drastic, living off the grid. But for a season of life, why not? Now, one way we should all be a little off the grid is keeping our personal data safe from online hackers, which is why I'm going to tell you about one of our sponsors, Delete Me. We spend so much of our lives online. We're on social media, we are shopping, we are banking. I mean, so much of this is on the internet these days, but also so many of our names and addresses and work history and phone numbers and email addresses and more are out there for bad guys to exploit. Now, we need to protect ourselves, and that is why I love and use Delete Me, because Delete Me finds and removes your info from hundreds of data broker websites that buy, sell, and trade your personal data. So take control of your online privacy today and find some peace of mind with Delete Me. Individual Delete Me plans start as low as $9 a month. So sign up today at joindeleteme.com/Rachel for 20% off, or you can click the link in the description. Number 4 is that this person lives in their grandmother's old trailer. So this person posted online, I moved back to my hometown after my grandmother passed so I could live in her double wide for free. I mean, that is saving some money. Again, long-term buying real estate is good for your overall financial perspective, but, why not for the season? Number 5 is communal electricity. So another example was a girl would blow dry her hair in the hallway of her apartment building and plug in there versus using the plug in her apartment so she would, not be adding to her electric bill. So, it's creative. And number 6, this is one that I do not get, but it is a thing right now, is live in a van. The van life is really taking off on social media. I mean, you got a flexible remote job, you get a van, and you just drive around and live in the van. And some people love it. They really do. And they create this very romantic lifestyle with van life. But man, I not my thing. So remember, for van life though, it doesn't eliminate everything. You still have to buy gas and food, maintenance for the van. You may have to get a gym membership to shower there, but some people are just free spirits in that way. So, and in the same token, the last thing that I saw, which was so interesting, is number 7, and that is live on a sailboat. So there are a lot of movies and TV shows out there with characters, that live on the water. Tom Hanks in Sleepless in Seattle, Matthew McConaughey in Failure to Launch, Dax Shepard in Parenthood. So boats are a place that people, they end up living. And again, long-term, I would say though, like the van, it is an asset that's going down in value. So long-term financially may not be the best. And boats can be kind of pricey to upkeep and everything. So in general though, people are doing a lot, you guys, to save money these days. It is hard out there and we see you. But at the end of the day, remember, you are not a main character in a rom-com. There is, there's reality out there. And I think the more in time that you face that and you're okay, what can I do today, regardless of your age, to get control of your money and kind of, be realistic about real life and realistic situations, the better off you're going to be long-term. So I know I sound like I'm robbing joy and fun out of your life. So if you want to be adventurous and do some of that, do it. I'm not against that. But there is a point that reality hits and you have to realize, okay, I have to be wise with my money and be an adult here. And let me just say too, one of the best ways to really jump into that, if you haven't yet, is a budget. Just knowing where your money's going, you guys, is key. If you've not downloaded Every Dollar, our budgeting app, make sure to do that. I'll leave a link down below so you can create a monthly budget for free. But this is one of the best ways if you are looking to save money. Budgeting is one of the best because you actually know where your money's going and you have control over it. And listen, if you do have some debt and you want to get rid of it, make sure to check out my episode on worst ways to pay off debt to avoid going deeper into the financial hole. So you can click here, or if you're listening on podcast, I will put a link below. All right, you guys, remember to take control of your money and create a life you love. Well, hey, you guys. So according to a recent survey, more people say that they want to be financially comfortable than reach millionaire status. And funny enough, I don't fully disagree with their sentiment. Now, it may come as a surprise to some of you because we often use words like baby steps millionaires or $1 million net worth, all of that. But I want to talk you through what my thought process is, and you can decide for yourself which you think is better to live comfortably in general in your life, Or is it better to become an actual millionaire? So listen, having money goals I think is great, but honestly, I think there's just something to say about, hey, I want to get to this place where I have peace with my money. And at the end of the day, because of life and compound interest and all the wonderful things comes with building wealth, if I end up hitting millionaire status one day, that's great. But I have found trying to hit this arbitrary number out there of like, I want to be a millionaire by 35, it sometimes can be a really empty goal. And there are a few reasons why. So the first reason is I think you will miss out on life. So say you reach it, but every other aspect of your life is so stretched thin for maybe 8 years, 10 years, and you're just miserable. Because again, this whole idea of building wealth long-term, I think is really key. But there is a group of people that are like, oh my gosh, I will do anything just to hit millionaire status. I will overwork myself. I will not do anything fun. And I'm going to do anything I can just to hit it. And then you look at their life, again, over the course of maybe 8 years, a decade, however long it takes, and they have kind of just solely focused on that one goal and not the life that they have right in front of them. So again, while reaching your money goals is great, and I understand even getting out of debt, there's going to be a period of sacrifice and you're going to be really focused on that. Like all of that is good because it's so short term and it's to this point that it's building you up to get to a point of peace. It's not just this arbitrary idea of like, okay, I have to push myself all the way just to hit this status point for just the idea of having that status. All right. Now, the second reason you shouldn't focus on reaching millionaire status is that the more you have, the more you need and want. So again, I think it's this idea that you're like, okay, if I reach this point, I'm going to be okay. If I have $1 million net worth, everything's going to be fine. Where the truth is, the finish line keeps moving, you guys. If that's your only goal for the only reason of just seeing that number in your bank account, and you get there, you may look around and think, and for most people, well, oh, is this it? Okay, well, I think I need like $500,000 more. And you just keep pushing that goal and pushing that goal for the sake of just pushing that goal versus saying, okay, I want peace with my money. I want margin. I want to be able to take my family on a great vacation every year. I want to go out to eat twice a week or like build a life that you want. And out of that, how much money is that going to take, right? So it's this idea of your value system driving you more than this number out there. And what happens is that number, and I think in America more than any other country, becomes this idea that this is who we are, where your net worth becomes your self-worth. And I want to break those two things apart because the number in your bank account or in your retirement account or the lack thereof is not you. That is not who you are. So working on you and your character through the process and journey of getting financial peace and hopefully, again, building wealth at the end. I think that's that whole idea is not wrong, but it's not that you're doing it to complete something inside of you. All right, another way to have peace in your life has to do with our sponsor, Delete Me. Scammers are everywhere, and it's just crazy. And I'll admit, not too long ago, I was a little distracted. I got a text from a company that I thought was legit. Ended up giving them some of my information. I should not have done that. And then I caught myself, and I was like, oh my gosh, I think I just got scammed. Yeah. I mean, your information is out there, you guys. These data brokers, they have your address, they have your phone number. Some of them even have your money information, all of it. And so it just can get bad really quickly. That is why I recommend to use Delete Me. This gives me so much peace of mind. Delete Me finds and removes your personal info, again, like your home address, your phone number, from hundreds of data broker websites to protect you from spammers, scammers, and online thieves, and potentially saving you so much time and money. So have peace of mind in your life and go to joindeleteme.com/Rachel for 20% off. That's joindeleteme.com/Rachel. All right, the last reason that becoming a millionaire should not be your main goal is that compound interest will work best for you over time. That's right. So again, this idea of planning long-term is really key. And when you invest a certain amount of money, we talk about 15% of your income over time, that compound interest is going to work for you. Proverbs 13:11 says, whoever gathers money little by little makes it grow. Again, meaning that going all in and just like, I'm going to do whatever I can to be a millionaire, in the next decade of my life, and I'll do anything. That's an exhausting strategy versus saying, hey, I want to get myself on a level playing field. I want to be wise with my money. I want to get an emergency fund. Again, the wise things, the grown-up things, but then just putting a portion of your money aside month after month, year after year, investing 15% of your income, and it's going to grow over time. And that's the really beautiful thing that comes with building wealth is that you can do it and you can do it while you sleep. It doesn't have to be this crazy, intense goal. It's just this idea that you're forming a life where you're putting money aside. And over time, you guys, that is going to grow. Compound interest is a beautiful thing. And if you've not checked it out, make sure to go to our compound interest calculator. Again, I'll put a link down below. But just put some numbers in, and that may actually kind of ease you a little bit to say, okay, I'm going to be okay, because you're going to see the power of compound interest. So here's the thing. I want you to have peace with your money. That's always my main goal. So when you have your eye on what really matters, again, getting your financial house in order and being wise with the money that you have, again, the future will work out. When you have a plan and you know what's going on and you're intentional, you're going to be okay. And if some of your long-term goals, if they feel impossible, remember, just start somewhere, right? Just one step at a time. So more than likely, you guys, you're doing better than you actually think. So this whole idea may sound crazy coming from me, your money friend, that I'm like, becoming a millionaire, that may not be your long-term goal. Maybe the goal is actually getting peace with your money. And then the effect of that, because of what you're putting out, is actually that you probably will become a millionaire, but you're doing it in a more healthy way, holistic way, which is what I want for you. So make sure to check out the next video, though, on stealth wealth. It's very fascinating. All right, you guys, remember to take control of your money and create a life you love.